Thank you for tuning in to Smarty Shorts TV True Horror Stories, where we bring to you thrills based on true stories. Today's story is based on some secrets that are never meant to be uncovered. This true story of a mysterious house and the secrets it hid will leave you questioning reality. Drop a comment if this made you double-check your surroundings. You ready? On the outskirts of a small town, there's a house that everyone avoids. It's not abandoned, at least not officially. But no one ever sees anyone coming in or out. No lights in the windows, no cars in the driveway. Just a weathered for sale sign leaning crooked in the front yard, sun-bleached and forgotten. The neighbors say it's been empty for years. But the few who live close by have noticed things. Shadows passing behind drawn curtains. A flicker of movement at dusk. A faint sound of music on still nights. But when they call the real estate office, the answer is always the same. No one lives there. No one has for a very long time. It was curiosity that led Maya and her friends to the house one late autumn evening. The air was cold. Smell of damp leaves and wood smoke, and the sky was darkening fast. They were just supposed to be passing by, heading home from a friend's birthday party. But then Maya stopped, gaze caught by a light in the attic window, dim and flickering, like a candle flame. Probably squatters. One of her friends muttered, but Maya frowned. The light was too steady, too deliberate, almost like an invitation. Before she realized it, her feet were moving, boots crunching on the cracked walkway. Her friends hesitated, casting nervous glances at each other, but followed. The front door, to their surprise, was unlocked. It swung open with a low groan, revealing a hallway draped in shadows, wallpaper peeling in long, curling strips. The air was stale, heavy with dust, and something else, something metallic and faintly sweet. They shouldn't have gone in. But Maya's curiosity was a living thing, urging her forward, her friends trailing reluctantly behind. The floors were scuffed and splintered, but there wasn't a speck of dust on the furniture. An old radio sat on a side table, its dial frozen mid-tune, but the power was out, had been for years, according to the neighbors. Every room was furnished, pictures still hanging on the walls. Family photos in sepia tones, smiling faces with eyes that seemed to follow them. In one of the frames, Maya noticed something odd. A little girl, standing slightly apart from the rest of the family, her face half turned away, eyes fixed on something outside the frame. Maya moved closer, squinting at the small, scrawled date in the corner of the photograph. The ink was faded but unmistakable. October 12, 1953, exactly 50 years to the day. In the hallway, a door was locked. The only one that wouldn't open, no matter how hard they pushed. There were scratches around the handle, deep, desperate gouges in the wood, as if someone had tried to claw their way out. One of Maya's friends laughed nervously, suggesting they leave, but Maya hesitated. The house was silent, the kind of silence that feels like it's waiting for something. And then they heard it, a soft, slow tapping from the other side of the door. They didn't open the door. Couldn't. But as they backed away, Maya's heel caught on something. A small leather-bound book half hidden beneath a side table. It was a journal, the pages yellowed and brittle. The handwriting inside was jagged and frantic, words slanting off the lines. Most of it was incoherent, but certain phrases stood out, scrawled over and over. Don't open the door. The last words were shorter, the ink smeared as if written in a hurry. Forgive me. It wants a way out. Maya's fingers trembled as she closed the journal, her breath clouding in the suddenly icy air. They turned back to leave, but the hallway seemed longer now, stretching into shadows. And then Maya's friend gasped, grabbing her arm, eyes wide with terror. A mirror hung at the end of the hall, cracked and dust-covered, but their reflections weren't right. Maya saw herself, pale and wide-eyed, but behind her stood a figure, a little girl in a white dress. her face blurred and eyes dark hollows. Maya spun around, but the hallway was empty. The mirror, however, showed a different story. The girl's hand lifted slowly, a finger pointing toward the locked door. Panic took over. They stumbled back, tripping over their own feet, breath coming in sharp gasps. Maya's hand found the doorknob, twisted hard, and this time it gave way with a crack. They burst outside, gulping cold air, legs burning as they ran down the driveway. The house loomed behind them, dark and silent. But as they reached the street, Maya glanced back, heart pounding, and saw the attic light flicker out. The next day, Maya returned to the house. Not inside, she couldn't bring herself to cross that threshold again, but she found an old newspaper archive at the town library. There it was, October 12, 1953. A family murdered in their own home. Father, mother, 2 sons, and a daughter, all locked inside a room with no signs of forced entry. The investigation never found a suspect. The case went cold. The house was put up for sale, but no one stayed long. Strange noises, objects moving, the feeling of being watched. Every tenant left within months. The photo in the article showed the same family portraits from the house, but the little girl wasn't in any of them. No mention of her anywhere. Maya moved out of town soon after, but the nightmares never stopped. Dreams of dark hallways and locked doors, the little girl's hollow eyes. Years later, passing through the town on a road trip, she couldn't resist driving by. The house was still there, still abandoned, the for sale sign leaning in the same spot. But as she slowed, heart pounding, she noticed something new. A piece of paper taped to the door, words scrawled in a familiar, frantic hand. "Don't open the door. It wants a way out." The front door swung open with a slow, creaking groan, darkness yawning beyond. Maya caught a hold of herself, got back in her car, and drove off. To this day, the house remains unsold. No one knows who put the note on the door, and no one can explain the light that still flickers in the attic window every October 12th. But some nights, if you listen closely, you can hear it, the soft, slow tapping behind a locked door. What do you think happened to the little girl? Why was her photos not in the police documents? What exactly happened on October 12th? What would you have done if you were Maya? Hope you enjoyed this read. Share this with your friend that you know might walk into an abandoned house. And don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more everyday true thrilling stories. Stay alert, and until next time.